side lane. That's quite grim when you have a lead that big. Not to mention the final fight where top just should not have been on that mid wave, and he got one tapped by the combo that we had from BLG. So, and pretty grim. If BLG will win 3 blue side games or red side games in the top esports,
that'd be crazy.
Pretty surprising, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, even for TES, like, we can criticize JackeyLove and Chris all we want. Sure, they have not had the best series so far. You know, Creme making a couple fumbles here and there, but it really is up to the whole team because, as you mentioned, if the carries are not set up for success, then they can't look like they're succeeding. And I want to see Kanavi 369 step it up as well, and of course, seeing JackeyLove and Chris maybe make some fewer mistakes here. It's a good Nefiri ban for BLG. I would have loved an early pickup of that as we continue to narrow down that jungle pool. So it's going to be the Yone instead here for Creme.
Yeah, that Yone has been banned all series. Definitely a Creme specialty. Deciding to ban the 6-0 Nefiri of Kanavi, a champ that Beichuan's yet to play with BLG, and let the Yone through. Curious now, I mean, just Sejuani Akali. I gotta believe there's gonna be a Sejuani slam from Beichuan coming out here.
It'd be a great denial from Top Esports because you know that they're gonna be selecting it if it does not go through. Or BLG can just say, okay, you guys can have it. We're going to try to find some priority somewhere else. There's no Nico available alongside this Kalista, but the Renata is there. And so that could be the lane dominant 2v2 opened up here for Elkanon. We saw them do a good job on the Lucian lane last time around. Now they'll get another ability or another opportunity to have some impact early.
I was about to say, they're kind of daring JackeyLove to play Ashe here. He is 3-0 in Ashe, and JackeyLove is an elite Ashe player. So that would be the pick for him. Are we dipping into some potential BLG, or I should say Thunder Talk tech when Beichuan was over there? It was Feather playing a lot of Seraphine. With this Ashe, of course, the W slow means you get the early root on the single E. That's going to be quite nice here. Top Esports going to need a front line later on, but this is a double lane counter in the bot lane for Top Esports.
A little bit surprised to see them opt away from the Sejuani. I feel like that and the Yone are kind of locked step hand in hand. Like, if you can't really play... It's not often that you see one play without the other. So they are dropping that to the second phase where it likely will get banned away by BLG. But it seems like Top Esports want to make sure that JackeyLove and Crisp are not put in a horrible position into this Kalista Renata lane. And so instead prioritize getting them some push and getting them some comfort.
I'd like that there'll be a ban a lot here. I still feel like we're missing frontline, as likely that we see Akali and potentially even a Silas ban as well aimed at Knight. Do we end up seeing a Trundle ban here, maybe? I don't think that's the front line that, like, Top really needs, but you could ban... Okay, Nidalee going to be taken away for Bin.
Wow.
As you still kind of need some more magic damage if you're a Top Esports, if BLG does get tankier. Also would love to see some setup come in from BLG. I think you have a real choice here between banning the Silas or even like a Galio, though. I know Galio and the Yone is not ideal, but Ambessa Galio to get backline access and synergize with Renata Circle is pretty big here.
It's going to be the Silas instead. We'll see if Knight goes for that Galio pick or if they try to deny the Sejuani here on 4 now that it has been unbanned in that second phase. It's very surprising to see it fall this far in terms of the draft. Once that Yone was first picked, but it looks like they finally will lock it in for Beichuan. I mean, this is another pick that he had a lot of good experience on, especially on Thunder Talk this year with Seitab being such a prolific Yone player himself.
Yeah, I do feel like the Akali and Silas ban, it does really nerf the Sejuani combos you can play into Yone, where with Silas Akali, you can actually hard win this lane with the help of a winning jungle matchup, but I like the fact that Top Esports did ban those two and then gave away the Sejuani. I think Trundle's a real option here for Kanavi, which does look to be the choice. It does make life a lot harder on Kalista as well. And then we'll see if it just ends up being like a 369 Gragas, so they feel like they need magic damage on the top side.
Something like Aurora is available too, if you want a little bit more magic damage, but then you're really sacrificing frontline, as it's going to be the Trundle locked in to steal away some of Beichuan's resistances and create a really good dual threat here in the
this
isolated
is doable,
1v1.
actually. Yeah, okay. Just play tanky. I guess we're really going to try and set up for JackeyLove on the Ashe, which I think, to be fair, is doable this game. If you peel for him early on, he's able to kind of get going. Oh.
No way.
Play the Blanc Knight. I actually think LB's really good this game.
What we talked about as well. I mean, we don't love talking about hovers all the time. I know that, you know, specifically, there are some players like Care who have some good experience on things like that, but instead it's going to be the Aurora, so the more boring option, but a good composition nonetheless for BLG.
There was a lot of conditional CC that I think LeBlanc would have thrived in, but instead it's going to be that Knight Aurora. Definitely gives you a little bit of lane dominance and push into that Yone early on, and I think that's a really big key when you are playing the Trundle. for me, a lot of the power of Trundle is being able to actually invade and get up in the face of the enemy jungler early on. Of course, Beichuan, we're going to have to see if he goes for the Unsealed Spellbook or the Phase Rush or the Fleet, as you don't want to go Aftershock going into the Trundle, as of course he's going to yoink away your resistances anyway. So I gave him more. But I got to say, it's a lot more of a stock standard comp that we have on BLG. I do like the fact, though, at least as top esports, they should have a winning bot lane between the Ashe and the Seraphine. Going to take a couple levels for them to get going. I'm worried about Trundle being able to invade, which I think adds to a lot of his strength as a champion. But do you think this Ashe could be set up for success later on?
I'm very curious what the bot push situation looks like here for TES. If JackeyLove and Chris were able to get that early advantage, it could result in Kanavi getting some counter jungling in, and that's where you start that snowball for a potential start of reverse sweep. It's going to be a long uphill battle for our #1 seed, our defending champions in top esports, to make their way to the grand finals the old-fashioned way through the upper bracket. However, we still, have seen them go through lower bracket runs in the past, and even with that being said, BLG's composition looking very good in their own right. They are looking for 3 straight games on red side, one for them, to lock themselves a spot in the top 3, putting themselves just one best of 5 away from MSI. Let's get out of the rift for game number 3. Seems like the winning team has the Jayo advantage, not super surprised.
It feels like the Beijing buff for Kanavi. Something he was specifically talking about from his time with JDG and how much he liked that town and playing there.
Hey, 369 has some experience there too.
Yeah, it has not been good for Kanavi so far. But hey, this matchup again, a little bit surprised to see Beichuan actually taking the Aftershock still, going into the Trundle. But we're going to have to see what Kanavi can get done as Trundle in this one. As Trundle, his ability to skirmish, it's real. And with, oh boy, BLG is sending at least 3 to make sure they get that ward down safely. It does look like Beichuan's going to be starting on this bot side. With, yeah, have JackeyLove and Crisp up in this lane first. That is good. Again, it is double ranged. And the way that you can counter Renata is through Enchantresses. So I think important the top esports able to catch this wave high to actually get some push going. And try and maybe open up a world or an angle where you can have Trundle cross and invade. But him starting on the blue buff makes that one look a little bit less likely for me.
Yeah, good vision set up by BLG to make sure that Kanavi is unable to really get an invade in without being spotted. As again, this is what the stakes are here for this matchup. Of course, there's going to have to be one best of 5 one after this, but both JackeyLove and Knight, these 2 big stalwarts in the LPL, looking for their 9th finals appearance each.
It is pretty crazy, especially the fact that Knight, if you skip out on split 1, he has won 4 finals in a row outside of split 1. So looking to resume that streak here with BLG, who I think a lot of BLG obviously themselves hoping to go international, but also a lot of LPL fans hoping that they represent this region internationally, as the success of Bin and Knight and these guys, being able to win MSIs, right? Being able to compete at the highest level does really feel like BLG, unless they meet T1 at Worlds, they have been one of the hardest teams to actually knock out of the tournament. So
that's been their kryptonite so far, but one step at a time for BLG. It's got to start with them making the international. They did not do that the first time around, which again resulted in top esports going instead. As it was a lower bracket, I think quarterfinal, that they ran into each other because BLG started off in the lower bracket and top esports dropped down pretty early. Yeah. It was a little bit earlier than expected to see those 2 teams down there. Actually, I think both teams started in the lower bracket because I'm pretty sure AL got the win over them, over TS in the group stage. So that is why they met so early on. But it was top esports that won that series 3-1 after BLG had a lot of positive momentum. So already BLG, though, have taken the first 2 games. But, we have seen situations in the past where TS are able to regain control and lock back in.
If it's going to happen, it's going to have to happen off the back of Kanavi, who is the MVP of the regular split and season as Knight.
He already
going to connect with the slow. He'll be okay. He's going to get on out of here. He's got to help with Beichuan too, as it's just a handshake in the jungle. Knight with the Aurora has that push early in the matchup. And just going to make sure that things are even so far between our junglers. Is on flashed, but missed. Hit the minion on the handshake. Couldn't get Crisp or JackeyLove under the turret.
Yeah, Elk are on went for the handshake, and the minion did the thing where you reach forward and then go for the hair. You know,
Hero minion.
A little psych out, yeah. So, not going well there in the bot lane for BLG, as it is JackeyLove getting that significant farm advantage, of course, with the advantageous 2v2, which is what we wanted to see for top esports. JackeyLove has not performed to our level that we need him to if top esports want to win this series, and so getting him off to a good start is big. Knight still has his flash and a lot of jumps at his disposal. Will use the flash to go over the wall. It's actually going to be matched by Kanavi, who lands the chop for a little bit of extra slows. Now with Knight having 0 mobility, it's going to be Creme dashing forward and picking up first blood for TES.
Great visit from Kanavi. They saw that his ward was on the bot side. He approached from the top side as that wave was in, and that's a timer where, you know, you can see Beichuan on his Gromp right now. That's an expected timer where the jungler is going to base, reset, and hit his camps, but Kanavi is sticking around. It's a big win. We'll have to catch up with his camps, but now we have the bot lane of BLG swapping to try and get out of this matchup, but they're going to guess wrong. As 369, he's going to show his face bot, and Elkanon going to get the bad news. They're still stuck with JackeyLove and Crisp in this matchup, who again got to the wave first from level 1 and have utilized this double range bot lane really well. Like, I expect this matchup to be ahead, but they're even ahead of the curve where I would expect them to be ahead in.
Yeah, I mean, really playing this nicely. Obviously, there is the inherent dyssynergy with Renata into Enchantresses and the like, but looks like so far things are going very nicely for this Ashe Seraphine lane. They did have to trade heals there, as an aggressive play did go forward for BLG.
Beichuan's coming up. We do have a mirrored clear in the jungle. Beichuan clearing away from that bot lane right off the bat, because I think he was really scared of like Trundle going red buff invade, which I don't blame Beichuan for, but now this is at least one Summoner Spell being down for top esports, and if Beichuan gets involved up here, keep in mind Kanavi's a little bit behind on this clear. The fact that he stuck around for that mid gank, and also, okay, I was going to say, also just clearing the other side of the map, but looks like Beichuan not interested in that. Instead, might have to help in Knight here in the mid lane.
Yeah, so nice advantage opened up for Creme as well. Just remember, this was the R5 selected by Knight, the counter matchup. Theoretically, although not necessarily playing for lane, more playing for that late game where, you know, it is a bit more of a backline damage threat, especially as Elk starts to fall off a little bit on the Callista. But for top esports, they are feeling very good about how this early game has been situated for themselves. Now Kanavi looking for a play potentially on the bot side, called the Forge God, gonna come out, knock Bin up, and he actually gets the dash canceled initially. And the Syrian charge is coming through. Looks like Bin should be dead here. Using Public Execution in onto Kanavi to try to buy a little bit more distance. But the pillar comes in. It's followed in by a flash, and they're waiting for Beichuan to arrive. Glacial Prison lands onto Kanavi. He does not have the subjugate available. Finally using it with the Aftershock Sedge. He's going to keep the Trundle alive. Searing charge again from 369 will land onto both members and delay the initial play. But nice job by BLG to make sure that Bin does not go down.
And that should just be the Dragon now being taken by Beichuan, as I feel like that's the option, or just what's up next is Knight. Good sidestep, and Creme
not finding too much, and Creme just goes down. The Fate Seal dodged away from. That was all too easy. Coming
Our
through
boy
for
just got fathered by the LPL GOAT Knight. I don't know what else to say there, Creme, but I fear that you got your Yone, despite the bans of the Akali and the Silas and the gank from your friend. That was not played well by Creme, who Alta didn't have anything to snap back to, and that was a one-way trip.
And that allows for Beichuan to pick up that first dragon. So what looked like a good sequence for top esports, you know, allowing for Kanavi to get that first kill mid, turns pretty rough. As nice dodge from Knight overall.
I mean, there's a world where you can just R on out of there as Creme, but he wanted to try and flip for blood, and he flips tails down, as that Creme went sour.
Yeah. Now, still a little bit ahead, but given the fact that he got that first blood, you would hope that Creme would have been in a good position to succeed. But just a little misplay there from our young mid laner results in him going right back to even against one of the best mid laners that we have here in the LPL.
Well, you can say the best, Grapes. It's okay. We both voted for him for MVP.
Yes, we did. As,
yeah, we did.
The Grubs are going to be kited away from here by Kanavi as well. The Subjugate is back off of cooldown, and the Hawkshot's going to spot them out. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is available for JackeyLove. He has a lot of pick potential. Kanavi biding his time with the Smite and being able to make sure that TES get up 2 for 1 in that department.
Yeah, Beichuan missed his Smite. Isn't able to find the combo there, as we're going to return to our lanes. Knight going to be up a level now on the Creme.
We missed 2 Qs.
Yeah, Knight's been really good with the sidesteps there so far. Again, this matchup, when you're in your E form, you got to be able to try and pressure the Aurora, but that bonus move speed from the kit, that E hop at slow, can be used really nicely to try and space things out. So far so good there for Knight. As it is looking like it's an E-Max from him in this matchup. This makes some sense. You can't guarantee its connection with some of the frames of Yone, like with the Q3s and those likes. Speaking of Yone, Creme, so you can buffer this.
Round 2, and this time it's Beichuan here first, getting into that bush perfectly. Hey, maybe that ultimate was a little bit unnecessary for Net, but we're going to take the kill nonetheless.
I mean, between worlds, it sealed the fate of the Yone.
There we go.
As
that's what we get paid the big bucks for.
yeah, sent him to another realm.
Yep.
Got him.
Put him in a glacial prison.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sadly, you know, Creme has paid the big bucks to win video games, and that has not been happening so far. As he did get his Yone that was banned away in the first 2 games, but again, we have seen with Fearless Draft and Best of Fives, a lot of teams starting to change up their bans to just plan out how they want to open in these drafts, and seen this not pay off so far. On doesn't have 6 yet, so yeah, I don't think they can do the combo. That's a little unfortunate. Wonder how close he was in XP to 6. 2 creeps away.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that if he had 6, that actually works out really well for BLG and Elk, but he did not. Top Esports playing up, knowing that 6 wasn't available. Able to get away with that one.
And so BLG have themselves another early game lead. But Top Esports, they have the advantage that they wanted in the bottom side of things. Elk and On have not really been able to do too much, although there have been situations where maybe JackeyLove and Chris have stepped up a little bit too far and result in them, you know, being in situations that they probably shouldn't be, but getting bailed out by just having the stronger champions at the moment. But the rest of the map so far going very much towards BLG. Bin has a 20 CS gap. I mean, it's been Beichuan finding plays early, and Knight overall outplaying Creme in this side lane now as they have rotated up top.
I am kind of curious to see what happens with some of the rotations coming in here. Kanavi, again, Trinity 4 is pretty expensive first item. Beichuan with a kill actually out on the map early with a heart steal and about to get his free boots too, as Creme's under threat yet again. He can buffer out of this glacial prison, but we'll see if that trade ends up being mid.
Yeah, actually waiting for Jackie and Chris to arrive here. With the threat of that enchanted crystal arrow, force him to go back, and now on the back side of things, a nice buffer from Bin with the public execution to make sure that Call the Forge God does not connect. But now without any extra mobility, it's going to be the pillar doing a ton of work on to Bin. Kanavi with the subjugate, going to continue to hunt him down with that pillar. One more chomp will seal the deal as Top Esports even up that kill count at 2 for now. Teleport coming in from Knight to clear out this mid wave. And now 369, he maybe walked the wrong way on, flashing over the wall to make sure that a kill is imminent. And 369 will go down as the Feats of Warfare go towards Bilibili.
They couldn't get Callista involved in that one, but at least able to turn things around. Bin has the flash in the gray screen, but that was not available for him to get out of the play. It's a well-timed gank from Top Esports. They find the rinse and repeat and give 369 a little bit of reprieve because now that matchup in isolation, it's kind of been all Bin at the moment.
369, we should have walked with Kanavi out of that fight, but instead
probably, yeah,
pathing towards the wave right into the teleport of Knight. Just wasn't reading that play properly. And results in basically a free kill going over in what should have been a 1-for-0 situation that also should have given Creme time to hit away at this turret and get himself back into the game himself.
I know Bin in this lane. He has an Eclipse and can actually really push around Creme at the moment, who has no access to Vamp. And with that going on, Bin, of course, has access to the TP. He's going to win out on that side lane matchup and could play for this Dragon, too.
Yeah, Kanavi's top is gone.
Yeah. Oh.
Arrow. As the fight does begin, it finds it on to Bin. Gonna be matched up by the Fate Seal, but the damage still might not be enough.
Oh my God.
A solo bolo for Gigabin as he shakes his head saying, what the hell are you guys thinking?
I mean, I feel like that's been me this entire night, Grapes. What the hell is Top Esports thinking? Like, that's not a winning play. Nope. You have Eclipse on Bin versus... What was it? Like, we just had a Vamp Scepter and a Pickaxe bought by Creme. He had his Summoner spells up. And that's the play. That's the attempt. I mean, I know that we're playing away from the Dragon, but... I mean, Creme just cannot play like this in these big games. And this has been the biggest criticism of Creme.
Oh, okay.
Bin's on out of there. And, like, Creme just hasn't shown up big in big games internationally. And again, like, we set up this mid-jungle duo as... Creme's still kind of looking to prove himself. Beichuan, for sure. This is the biggest series that Beichuan's ever played in. But going up against Knight and Kanavi, like, these are the MVP candidates we have in the LPL. I just felt like Knight's performance has been more impactful. What we've seen from Kanavi is, I just I do not get the train of thought with this one. Like,
little
item-wise, we are so down as top esports.
The mis-synergy here is the snapback comes through as soon as the arrow connects.
He was the
means
damage.
Creme's unable to get some extra autos in there.
You just get
so
fathered.
just combos him as soon as the ult comes in, yeah.
He couldn't stack up the Qs either, because like he was in the R thing, right? If you're like able to Q3 and then maybe comb it. But again, you're sitting on over like almost 1,500 gold as Creme. I think it was 1,300. The fact that he bought a pickaxe and 550 for the vamp, right? So at least 1,300 you're sitting on. And going into an Eclipse bin, it was like ahead in this matchup. Like, yes, it's been attempted to set him behind with the help of Kanavi, but left alone to the 1v1. I mean, Bin's been really big. It's been a weird day from top esports, man.
Uncharacteristic so far. They're going to find another play. They were on a ward, clearing that out.
Brother.
And Creme just disrespecting the might have been in Beichuan.
I mean, this is the Yone that has been banned for 2 games, and rightfully so against Creme. Creme is a very talented Yone and melee player. And, I mean, this series, like, top esports haven't been able to put it together. The first few games, it really has been the bot lane just getting completely gapped. And now Creme just getting kind of team gapped here. As he's pretty far behind. This Yone is just not going to be a threat in the side lane, Grapes. It's going to be a problem. As that hostile takeover, going to be the hostile takeover of the Rift Herald. Insured for BLG, but... Goddamn, Grapes, we were hoping to get a banger series tonight. It's just been all BLG as top esports hasn't showed up.
It's very disappointing because we were expecting both sides to come in at the top of their game. The #1 regular season team overall versus, again, the team with the best record over their past 10 series in BLG. But that has not been the case here, as Bilibili are just looking a little bit better all the way through. And, I mean, we can't even say, like, Creme has been getting outplayed by Knight, necessarily, because Knight's barely been involved in half of these.
Oh, he's been outplaying himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, you're running into the MVP. I mean, these are just mistakes coming through from a young player that has found success in spurts here for top esports, but we're still waiting for him to fully come to form.
A good slow connecting from JackeyLove there as he makes that one look pretty... Oh, he did look that.
He clicks forward. The Ren stacks are going to come through. Elky cleanses away from that encore and will send a JackeyLove right back to base. Another kill picked up at 6-2 BLG. And this game's getting out of hand real quick, Cubby.
You know, it really feels like... Oh, okay, we got around the pillar. That was actually kind of cute. It really feels like the international hate watchers of top esports got their wish today. I'm so puzzled, Grapes, because it feels like throughout this whole split, we've seen top esports just kind of like ensure, like, no, we do deserve to be on that international stage, right?
Not yet. Not right now. There's still some work to be done for TES2.
They don't deserve to be on this stage. They deserve to be in the lower bracket right now, Grapes.
Well, they could be going right back down there. I mean, even in terms of their playoff performances going, like, based off of just a couple of days ago, they were up against FPX in that first round, and they made that series a little bit too competitive, I think. Like, there was a very good chance that one went to 5 if the like early game, or sorry, the late game went a little bit better for
sometimes when you play Diana and Viego mid, you know, it just be like that. With time's not your friend. Was enough there for top esports to overcome, but this play on the side, a lot of power down here at Knight. No TP. And BLG for sure see this one coming.
They need a win, and they need one quickly. They might find one here onto On. Fate Seal does connect here onto Elk. He has the bailout on top of him, so that means that Knight will be able to get one back. Here's the public execution forbid. It goes in onto the back line. Elk finally going to go down, and it comes right at the perfect moment. Call the force right in. Creme's at 1 HP. It gets taken down by the W over the wall by Beichuan, and it's 4 down already for top esports. This is a 3v1 opened up for 369. BLG controlling this fight around the dragon, and they're going to get their third of the game.
Another dragon secured. Been a big theme from BLG in this series too. It helps when your bot lane's playing well, but the dragon control has continued for Beichuan and friends as these timers have been sound. And I gotta say, this fight was a little bit hectic. Okay, we're gonna take a look at how JackeyLove died. Why click back?
Don't click. Yeah, that was a bad click.
Why'd you go for the auto? Like, you could have walked away. JackeyLove had, unfortunately, a classic JackeyLove moment. Now, sums were burned here by Elk, so this is the target early on for top esports. I don't mind this. It's a decent idea. It's a decent start, too, for Creme. This is actually a good find from him and JackeyLove. But he lived.
They're waiting for the
didn't even
bailout
pop
to
the
expire.
bailout.
So maybe, but it seemed like Top Esports, they had to go for one or the other, go for Elk or On, given the state that they were in, and they tried to go for both, and it cost them a lot.
And I mean, Creme snapped back. He was taken out by Beichuan and Knight. We had Bin join, and Bin is just massive right now. He's ahead of the game, and Bin was able to squeeze out of there with plenty of health. It looked a little bit low, but you're invested with a flash up, man. He was chilling. That kind of feels like where BLG's at right now. I know we haven't really teased the scaling of this game. I do prefer the scaling that we have on Top Esports, but these plays we've seen attempted have been so grim, and when Top Esports at their best playing with scaling grapes, they are able to make a few plays happen where it's like, okay, we got a Drake, we got some time, right? We can actually play out from there. And this is not, I mean, first off, not the identity we're seeing from Top Esports, right? We talked about the early game, or full court press, as On's going to go for this one, actually.
And a huge between worlds from Knight as well. The weirding does so much damage. Chris is already dead. Bailout on to save him. Kanavi can't even find the kill onto the Renata. Creme going forward here with the bait sealed, but there's just not enough DPS whatsoever. It is a triple kill picked up for Elk, a fourth picked up for Knight, and 369's looking at everyone saying, what's happening, guys?
I mean, like, why are we taking these fights? You have Ashe, Seraphine, Yone. It feels so unwarranted that we're fishing like this as Top Esports. And yeah, poor 369, it feels like he's just been, like, him and Kanavi have played fine in this series, but what's happened with this mid and bot lane of Top Esports is sadly kind of a return to international form. What we saw recently is, why are we looking for this fight? I don't really understand. I mean, Creme has to TP in, 369 has to joy all. BLG are here first. And it's a fight in a window where, again, I still feel like BLG are just much stronger, and you actually have scaling options and can play a little bit of scaling as top. I don't really see or I can't visualize the timers we're even looking to play on. It's like, oh, the support's down flash, let's give it a go. It's the least valuable member. Like, why?
And this is the biggest lead that we've seen at this stage in the game for a single team, one way or the other, and certainly towards BLG at this point. Over 6K is the advantage. They have soul point, the soul spawning in 2.5 minutes time. And Top Esports know they got to go for a play quick, or else this game, this series is just over. They're going to go onto that tier 1 turret. Knight going to be taken down most likely, but able to dip, dodge, and away for a long time. Finally getting Kanavi the kill.
But what now?
They bought enough time for the rest of the team to arrive.
Yep.
JackeyLove in a lot of trouble. Ren is sending Kanavi down to 1 HP. And it should be the eventual wipe here of this team fight. 369 not able to find anything with that Ornhorn. And Beichuan just locking up all of Top Esports, putting them in a prison of their own mentals. As it's going to be another 4 kills picked up for BLG.
I mean, they're able to pick up 2 pity prizes, so actually slingshot some gold back, but I mean, the ugliness kind of continues here for Top Esports. As the thing about this team is that usually, like, their setups, how they play sides, like objectives, you can always see the idea. I think that's what I'm most disappointed about in this game 3 is I really don't see the idea behind the majority of the plays we're seeing from Top. In a game where, again, I feel like time is not terrible for them. Like, you have a Trundle that steals stats. You have an Ornn. You can see what Yone can do in side lanes later on, but sadly, this is all Creme has done on the side lanes.
Nice
He's going down.
From Bin. Yep,
like,
it's just...
What is this?
Hey, we're getting close to the 110 power spike right now for Creme. That's all I'll say. So, you know, maybe he's trying to get there. It's not looking good.
I just feel like, you know, the scene from Anchorman where he says milk was a bad choice. I feel that way about Creme, just because A, Creme jokes, but B, like, half the plays we've seen is just, it's been a bad choice from Creme.
Yeah, and just how do you bounce back from this if you're Top Esports? I mean, it was a weird series against FPX, but you're like, okay, you know, we still won. Demolished by BLG.
We are down 2 levels. So far.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm really perplexed by this.
Bin knew he was winning, right? He walked towards the Soul Unbound again, and I mean, wasn't even close.
That's some, like, Deaf Mute teammates gameplay. You get Q3 and Auron out of there, by the way. Yeah, that's a weird one.
I don't have many other explanations. If you're looking for the high tier analysis, I mean, that first of all, your job. But second of all, nothing I can provide there. As we have this dragon spawning Going to be the soul picked up for BLG unless Top Esports do anything about it. It seems like they're going to put all their eggs into the basket of this one team fight. Down 6,000 gold and looking for the engage. They finally knock up onto On, but there's not enough damage just yet. It's going to be the soul picked up here for BLG. Ornhorn finding two, but Beichuan is still massive here on this front line in between worlds, doing so much damage. Knight dashes in. Public execution on a Creme will take him down once more. And JackeyLove isolated and executed by the side of Bilibili Gaming. It's going to be Knight dashing forward. Chris the final target. 5-0 ace picked up for BLG.
BLG, man, they look back. They're going to take this game and make it so that they have 2 opportunities to make it to MSI and EWC. And honestly, look like they're on the fast track to get back to form when it comes to them and Knight. And those 4 domestic titles straight that he wasn't able to find in Split 1. As this series that we had hyped up coming into the night, Graves, man, it's a library out there if you're a Top Esports fan.
It's just over. I mean, Creme's up in 5 seconds, but the Nexus already exposed. The hottest team in the LPL, adding fuel to the fire here in a 3-0 sweep over the defending champions. Bilibili Gaming locked themselves a spot in top 3.
Wow, I was expecting to be done 2 hours and 30 minutes into the series. That was, wow. Top Esports, man. I mean, I kind of feel for this team because, again, like, as casters, we watch these guys domestically, and it's like, oh, we feel like this team's decent, like they can put things together. But then the international fans, of course, they have some beef against Top Esports, rightfully so. It felt like BLG gave all the international fans the wish they wanted as they take down Top Esports in the bracket, take one step closer to representing the LPL at those international tournaments. And Top Esports have to dig deep, man, because, like, I am depressed for them watching this this series.
I mean, I don't even know, like, there's 0 shining lights in that game 3.
It was
the
like
first 2 games, there were some good moments, but that game 3, I mean, they were tilted. They were not feeling it in any way. And that is just a not acceptable performance from the team that went 15-3 in the regular season and also is coming off of a Split 1 victory.